Welcome to episode 31 of It's No Secret Podcast Live. We are your hosts, Sharis, Teresa, and Bianca Rose. Welcome back, Shari.
Welcome back.
You have some explaining to do.
Honestly, girl, where the hell you been?
Living in the psych wards mentality just on the outside, that's it.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. But for everyone watching to us, we kind of hinted towards this in our last episode that we have a very special guest for all of you guys here with us today. We have the founder of Petite Brand East on Rodeo, Miss Jessica White.
Hello.
How are you, Jess?
I'm good. Oh my God, you teased me up even. I'm like feeling real special.
You are special. We only have special people on our show.
It makes sense. It makes sense. 3 special guests, special people. Love
Yeah,
that.
but before we get into anything, do you want to tell people who you are, what you're about, what your brand's about?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jessica White, and like Teresa said, I'm the founder of East on Rodeo. We are a petite apparel brand. We like to say for women who are short by design and unstoppable by nature. And like just really quickly, we design contemporary fashion for like women on the go who like style and fashion and are looking for options outside of fast fashion and, don't feel like they should be relegated to shopping the kids section or having to go to the tailor
Thank
every
you.
time they
Yes.
go somewhere.
Me and the tailor down the street are close friends.
Yeah, yeah. We're not trying to put tailors out of business, but I think,
Right.
you shouldn't have every single item shouldn't have to send you to the tailor.
Mhm.
So I just felt like there was a gap in finding cool, stylish clothing. And a lot of times petite wear too tends to be really like juvenile. Like there's always like flowery dresses, like you're like a milkmaid on the farm or something. Like, and I just feel like that's not how I ever like to dress. I was
No.
always inspired by like streetwear and street style and things that are just a little bit what I feel is like more grown up. So
Yes.
yeah, that's the gap we're hoping to fit.
Well, you guys are
love
doing an
that.
amazing job so far. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Now,
Thank
go ahead and
you.
mention you have the petite brand. So, how tall are you?
I'm 5'2". Such a great question. Yeah, I'm 5'2".
Is she taller than you still, Bianca?
She's still taller than me.
How tall are you?
I am 5 foot even.
Okay. Oh, but you broke.
I'm
broke
5'1" on my good days. I'm 5'4"
okay.
in heels, and I'm 6 foot tall on WebEx because I have a tall personality.
There you go. That's like the whole vibe too. I think every short person is like, listen, I am like tall in spirit and in
Yep.
nature and every other way possible.
We are condensed awesomeness. Okay. That
Yes,
is
that's
what we
it.
are.
Yes,
Sorry, you're
yes.
normal height. You don't count.
Yeah, I was gonna say
How tall are you, Shari?
5'6",
5'6".
5'6".
You can
Okay.
Oh,
still
that's
fit into
actually a really
Jessica's
great
style.
height. Like
Yeah.
just right there.
Mhm.
You can, yeah, that's a good height.
All right. So, for anyone who has ever watched our show before, you guys know we always start with our highs and lows of the week. As always, we're going to start with our lows. That way, we end it on a high note. So, Shari, you get to go first. What was your low of this week?
My low of this week has been work. Work is working. They're like, oh, get all this stuff done. We're getting ready to go back to school, so it's crunch time. It's summer work, and it's like, do this, do that, do this. Oh, okay, but we're gonna make these changes. So now you have to go back and do all the double work. Like literally moved an entire
Mhm.
library from one classroom to another teacher's classroom, only for her to be put back in her original classroom.
Okay.
Label all these Chromebooks. Over 600 Chromebooks. Oh, now we're gonna switch 2 classes, so they don't need Chromebooks. Now you have to redo them. I'm like,
The joys. The joys of
Busy but
work.
not productive.
Yes.
yeah. So it's just it's been one of those weeks. So yeah, it could be over. Tomorrow's my last work day of the week, so I'll just take that.
Ooh,
Over the
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
My low of the week actually happened this morning. I woke up and I had a little tickle in my throat, and I'm like, oh no, you better not be getting sick right now. I mentioned this last week, but I have this whole week off. So I've been
Mhm.
enjoying my time off and feeling that little tickle this morning. I'm like, no, we got to go to Six Flags tomorrow.
It always comes at the worst time too, because it's like I'm supposed to be
Always.
enjoying this time off. I
Right.
scheduled it.
But I have
Right.
my tea. I'm
Okay.
trying to do everything I can. I literally have tried not to speak today except for now. So just trying to save whatever's going on up in there.
Right.
But that was my low. B, what about you?
My low is a lesson that I have not learned, and that's how to save money. So I've been spending money this weekend. I've been having fun living for me. Do it, lady. YOLO, whatever the kids are saying these days.
Plant Daddy.
Plant and Daddy over here has been spending money. I actually, yeah,
Did you buy a new plant this weekend?
I bought a new cabinet to make like a greenhouse for my plant.
Oh my God.
He's like, I
I'm
did
taking
one
it a
even
step
better
further.
than that. Yeah.
Right. Let me one up you real quick.
I'm like, where's Jaded Countessa so I can tell her she's a bad influence? No, she's
She's like,
Yeah.
He's like,
I
bought
got a
a
mini
plant.
version of what she has.
yes, yes.
He's like, bought a plant. I bought land. What are you talking about?
Oh man.
Yeah,
That's-
but it's a lesson I have not learned yet. I'm still financially irresponsible, so
it's okay. You'll get there. You'll get
Go ahead
there.
and buy that picture we just talked about.
Right.
it's in the cart already.
Sorry, some bad influence too. Jessica, what's your low of the week?
So my low of the week, I actually was just dealing with it before we started here, so it's nice and fresh, and I can complain all about it now.
Yes.
But it's actually related to work in terms of so we go through this process of like pitching the brand to different retailers and all of that other stuff, and we're we're working with a new factory that I love.
Mhm.
Great factory, but there's always stuff that happens. And so right when we had like a retailer reach out around wanting to like see our line sheet, we're like, "Oh, perfect. Our samples are almost done." Reached out, "When do we think we're going to be done?" We have a delay. And I'm just like, "You've got to be kidding me." And it's one of those things where you feel like, "Okay, we're going to start and give ourselves more than enough time because you have to you're trying to be done by a certain period of time so that this
Mhm.
exact thing that happened, but as in the state of clothing and production and sampling and in
You're
the
at the
world
mercy
of
of other people.
Honestly.
you are, and there's just things like, especially with tariffs and all this other stuff, like there's all kinds of reasons why like fabric might be low in stock or a shipment didn't come in of something and it just sets back everything. So anyways, that was my low today, and it's gonna be my low for the week. Okay.
For the rest of the week too. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, let's switch gears to a positive note. Shari, what was
Okay.
your high of the week?
My high of the week was yesterday. I got some really good news that we found a new place. So,
Yay.
yeah. So now we're in the process of trying to get all that together. But yes, that was my high for this week.
Oh, that's exciting. Congrats.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Nice.
That just turned into my high of the week.
Aw.
Oh man. My high actually also happened today, which is ironic because today was my low too. But as I was trying to, save myself, I was watching TV with my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, Julissa, and we were watching a show on Netflix that just recently came out called Building the Band. And if anybody knows me, you guys know I love watching singing competitions because that's what I aspired to be when I was younger, was a singer. I was in a girl group at one point.
Oh my God, I did not know this.
I know.
Is there video evidence of this?
No, there might be some. Maybe.
Okay, we'll get back to that offline.
But I was watching it with my middle child because she's very musically inclined as well. And she was just like lighting up watching this show and watching these people sing. And she'd look at me and she'd be like, "Mom, did you hear their harmonies? And they're so amazing. Look at their fits." And, like all this stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, that's my baby." I knew there was a little bit of me in there somewhere.
She's over here making her own band. She's like, "Yep, that's the one."
She told me, she was like, "Yeah, I would love to be in a girl group with my fam," because she goes to school with one of her cousins. And she's like, yeah, they go to hip hop dance classes together and stuff. So it's really cute. But that was my high of the day or of the week. B,
love
what was your high?
In contrast to my low is spending all the money, all the stuff that made me happy. Every single purchase that I made this past weekend made me so happy. I had a new plant cabinet. I got my nails done. I typically do press-on nails, but I'm like, you know what? Treat yourself. Let's go a little bit long term. Let's do this.
Good.
I went to an estate sale. Like, I was just trying different
Ooh,
things. I don't know.
fun.
Yeah, it was so cool. Just new experiences, new ways to spend money because I do spend a lot of money on plants. So I branched out. Everything else is also expensive, so I'm just gonna stick to my hobby of plants.
Did you get anything good at the estate sale? I've not been to one, but I want to go.
I did. I actually found like this like little crystal bowl and it was so nice and so heavy. I was like, this is so cute. I'll give you $15 for it. Or I'll give you $20 for it. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. It had like a little sticker on it. So I went, Googled it, whatever. I'm like, I know this brand. It's like a Waterford crystal bowl. And I'm like, oh, just a one that's a little bit bigger is like over $700. So I'm like,
No.
Winning.
yes, girl,
See, that was an
math.
investment.
Girl
That it
math.
actually had an ROI. Like that wasn't just spending.
I was like,
What
that
are
was
you
my first
talking
estate
about?
sale that I've been to. So I was like, show me what these dead people got. I might go to more. I'm living for this.
Lord. Real quick in the chat, is it Alexa Girl? I think that's what her handle is on her Instagram.
Yeah.
She said, "We'll fix it on Friday, Jess."
Yes, we get confirmation and we're manifesting.
Yeah, she's gonna help
Said
you fix
promises.
your
We're gonna get that
problem.
done.
That's my
What-
best friend, by the way.
Aw. Does she work with you?
Did she work with me? No, she doesn't work with me,
Oh,
but that's just
okay.
the girl that she is. She's like, I'll clock in for a day.
Aw,
I love
that's
it.
amazing. And then Blenderina.cut said, "Congrats, Shari. So happy for you."
Aw.
And I would like
Very
to
sweet.
just confirm that me calling out Jaded Countessa as a bad influence on Bianca is valid because she is currently assembling her own little shelf for her plants right now. So yes,
Spending these
I was
plants.
valid. Yeah. Jessica, what's your high of the week?
Okay, can I do like a split? I have two
Yeah,
that I
go
want to
for
share,
it.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first one is I went to church on Sunday. You know when you go to church and it's like the message just hits really, really good. So it was like that kind of church service. And then like fast forward, like the pastor kind of got me together, but like in a good way. And
Yeah.
then I would say yesterday, day before yesterday, there was like an actual scenario where I was able to catch myself and like think back to that service and
Mhm.
apply. And that is one of those things that you're like, in my mind, I'm always like, that rarely happens. Or you know what I mean? Where it's just
Yeah.
like that
That
quick of a
correlation where you're like,
turnaround.
oh, that was for me.
Yeah, that was for me. And like if I wouldn't have went to church that day, or if I didn't get that message, I wouldn't have been able to kind of like catch myself in the moment and redirect and
Mm.
correct. So
Yes.
anyways, that was a really, really nice moment. But I will also say I had breakfast with my parents yesterday, and I will say like there was nothing in particular, like there was nothing special about it in particular, only than the fact that we were just laughing so much. And there was a moment in the middle of that where I was like, oh yeah, this is what did they say on TikTok? Like I almost forgot this is the point, which we'll talk about me
Yeah.
moving back home. But it was just a really sweet moment of like, wow, like you feel wealthy, you know, to have the people
Yeah.
that you love around and just being able to have a good time with them.
Yes, enjoy that. I'm so
Hmm.
jealous. My parents live in Mexico, so I'm so jealous that you get to like just go have breakfast with them. Something
Yeah,
so small,
yeah,
but
simple.
means so much, right?
Yeah.
Gives so much more
Mhm.
to life. Oh, I love that. Oh,
Mm,
that makes me very
yes.
happy. Okay, good. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, now let's get to the topic at hand, which is our wonderful guest here, Jessica. So, for those of you guys who don't know, Jessica and I actually used to work together.
Yes.
I talk about the job that I got laid off from a lot on this show. And Jessica worked at that same place with me. She was definitely up there in the food chain, corporate girly all the way. So my first question to you is more of a personal question, like how? How did it happen? How did you decide, or what made you decide, you know what? I have this great, 9 to 5. I'm going to quit the corporate life and
Yeah.
devote all my time to this idea.
hmm Um, I would say it's been a long time. Like it definitely wasn't just one day to the next. And um I think you just kind of get to a point where, and I will say, like, I liked my job. I enjoyed what I did. I mean, it was a job, so obviously, that it got on my nerves too. But
Right.
I definitely was like, I liked what I was doing. I was with the company for a long time, just like Teresa. It was definitely the kind of place where people came and stayed because there was a lot of growth and change, and you, even though you were at the same job, you really felt like every couple years you were in a new role and the organization was changing, and so it kind of
Yeah.
kept you on your toes. And so I grew my career there and really did like it, but there was just always this lingering to have a more creative outlet, and I was always into fashion. I think that even showed up in how I showed up to work. Like
Mhm.
people noticed in the office how I dressed, and that I liked style, I liked fashion, and I always wanted to pursue it, but obviously for all the very obvious and reasonable reasons, it's a lot to give up the comforts of your livelihood and say, I'm going to go like bet on myself and do something else. So, um, there we're doing a lot of changes, like layoffs. And what was so funny is I started this brand during COVID while I was still working. And
Mhm.
every round of layoffs, I would be like, okay, maybe it's going to be my turn. And it would never happen. And my team would just keep growing. They would keep adding responsibility. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. Um,
You're
so
like, "But
then
wait, I'm ready though."
I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, at some point, you had
And
to fire yourself in order to
well,
make it
it's kind
happen.
of funny, yeah, because I had done a clothing brand before and I wasn't ready, it wasn't the right time, and I just grew my career, and then I had gotten to a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to resent this job because this job is actually what's allowing me to save my money and do things in my life to prepare myself for that leap if and when
Mhm.
I choose to make it. And so I really started to approach work in a way that said, I'm going to honor where I'm at right now and just wait for God to tell me like it's time to do something else. So every time a layoff would come, I'd be like, "Ooh, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time." And it didn't, happen until there was like one point where I was like, I think this might be it, but I'm not going to force it. And there was plenty of moments because I wanted to be a remote employee. They told me I could, and at the last minute they said I couldn't. I wanted to move back
Mm.
home. So I was like, this is a good time to quit. And I never did it. But I will never forget, like it was going to be the day that I was going to find out if they were going to ask me or not. And I got on the freeway and I remember like, okay, if today's the day, I'm ready to accept it. Got to work that day, was in a meeting, and I got a text message from one of our EVPs,
Mhm.
and she just said, "Hey, when you have a second, can you come to my office?" So I text my boss who was in the meeting with me, and I'm like, "So and so wants to see me," and she was just as surprised as me. So I was like, "What are they getting ready to say to me?" Because if I was going to get laid off, my boss would know. And
Right.
this EVP was not even in my chain of command. I used to work for her, but she was at this moment in another chain of command. So it was just kind of odd. So I went to her office and she goes, "Well, I want to tell you first, you're not getting laid off. So, like, you're not." And I go, "Okay." And she goes, "Well, but um, we have two roles that is going to be on her team." And she was like, "And so I would love for you to join my team in one of these roles, because the role that you're in is going to be eliminated, but there's a place for you. And this is, we would love
Nice.
to have you here." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay." And she's like, "But I also know that before COVID, because like I alluded earlier, we had many conversations about me wanting to move back home. I had been where I was living at the time for long enough, and I knew I would always come home. And she knew that. And so she said, I know you have some like personal reasons for not wanting to be here geographically anymore. And even though the organization has moved in this direction of like back in the office, no remote work, all of that, if it is something, a personal choice that you want to make to depart at this time, then we will honor a severance for you. And
Nice.
I was like, oh, okay. So then she goes, I go, how long do I have to think about this? And she's like, you have like 2 days because they had to like get to the next thing.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I left and went to lunch. And I realized in that moment, like, God was saying, I'm not going to make this choice for you. Like, you
Mhm.
are going to have to make this choice for yourself. And
Yeah.
I, that was it. I took this. I said, I don't know when's the next time they're going to pay me to leave. So
Yeah.
And I think,
I
like, that
left.
reaction of them telling you, like, "You're not getting fired," you're like, "Oh." It was, like, a little bit of a
Like,
disappointment,
what's
like, I
all this
couldn't
for?
leave you
Yeah.
2. Now I have to quit. Like, now I have to fire me to make this choice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how that happens, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I firmly believe that it was like it's saying you're gonna have to make, like, I'm not gonna do this for you.
Yeah.
Plus, here's your severance package from all
Yeah,
this
I
time
mean,
that
yeah,
you've spent here.
yeah, I had been there for so
Take it
long.
and run. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
yeah,
amazing. That worked
Now
out though.
it
yeah,
worked
you say
out.
that you
Yeah,
were, like, preparing mentally. How else were you preparing to make that transition? You're like, "If I get fired today, I'm ready to start this business now." What were you doing as those, rounds of layoffs were happening?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
financially, mentally, how are you
Yeah. I
preparing?
mean, I definitely. I made some pretty strategic choices, I would say, in terms of how I spent my money and things like that. Like, I got promoted. I bought a house where I lived previously, but I was like, it's going to be something for me. Like, where I lived before, it was really easy to like go and buy something really big or do. And I'm like, no, I'm going to buy something for me that's manageable, that I know that I can pay for if I choose to make any moves. I you know, made sure that I got a car that I could pay off quickly. Like, I did everything that I could
You were smart.
within reason to make sure that if I left, I was leaving with as little, like, just outstanding, like, debt as possible.
Yeah.
And then, like, during COVID, it just gave us, like, as busy as we were, it gave me the time also to look into, okay, what is this brand? What do I want it to be? Going into it, I didn't know it was going to be a petite brand. And so that time is when I was really able to take the time and reconsider, like, what's the angle? Why would I do this? Like, why would you blow up your whole life? The world does not need another clothing brand. So, what is the reason why you want to do this, and who do you want to serve? And Teresa, this, like, the where we worked before, I will say they served people who were traditionally underserved in
Yeah.
their industry. So
Absolutely.
that was something that I really enjoyed because of the role that I had. I loved supporting those people that supported customers or clients.
Mhm.
And like I really felt like, I don't know, I felt like it was really purposeful to say, everybody deserves to be serviced with a level of dignity and respect. And so my job in making sure that we give people the tools and resources to do that was important. And I wanted to have a piece to that in my business. I didn't want it to just be something that was like, I'm just making clothes for fun because, that's my hobby. So all of that was important to kind of getting mentally prepared for if and when the time came for me to make that move.
Yeah. That's scary though. That has to be scary, like, when you finally did come to that decision of, "You know what? No, I'm gonna leave my little corporate job," and not very little corporate job, let me take that back. That was a big corporate job. But I'm gonna leave my corporate job and then, just finally devote myself to
Mhm.
this idea. Now you did mention a few times home. So where
Yeah,
where is home for you, just so people know?
Los Angeles,
She's an LA girly.
California. I'm an
LA
LA
girl.
girl. Yeah. Yeah. And I moved several times for work. I moved to New York. I lived there for a couple
Mhm.
years, and then for some reason I'm not saying the other city because I just feel like it's gonna give it away, but it's not. I mean, I lived in Texas too.
Yeah. She lived in Texas too. Yeah.
um, and so it was always for work. I always knew that I wanted to come back home, and I was like, oh, if I could, I was totally prepared to keep that job and do this at the same time. I'm like, if
Mm,
they're willing to let me work from LA, which I did during COVID, with my boss's permission, just in case there's anyone like snooping around. But yeah, like I, I did, and I'm like, oh, this is like a trial run, and we're doing great, and um, yeah. So home was always a place I wanted to get back to, and at a certain point, you're like, well, I can't spend the rest of my life letting my job like make
Mm,
all the major decisions in my life,
yes.
including like where I choose to live, especially like at that point, once we had proven that we could do a more hybrid or remote
Hmm.
type of work. There was no good reason in my mind to just be there. I didn't have family there. I had friends that I loved, but my life was really here.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
have your support system at home.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For
And
sure.
when you're starting a new business, you need that. You need your support system around because it's not going to be easy every day. So,
No. Yeah, to your point when you said it's like scary, I
mhm.
think I had come to terms with leaving. It got scary like after the first year, you're like, "Oh, okay, like
I
this
need
is
some
like for
money in my
real. Like
pocket.
this is
Yeah.
not cute no more."
It's not cute no more. So you did mention that originally you didn't know you were going to be a petite brand.
Yeah.
So what caused that shift to make that decision?
What's funny is not only did I not know it, I did not want to do it.
Really?
And no. Okay, so let me ask you guys, or maybe you may not have any context for this, but when you think of like the petite section of a store, just what comes to mind? Like, what do you think about, if anything?
I
You're not
think,
gonna like, yeah, say
yeah.
what comes to mind.
Like, I'll be honest with you, most of the stuff that I would see, like, especially when it came to, like, dress pants and stuff like that, it would be, like, capris, like, everything is much shorter than the short that I need.
Okay.
I
So,
have
like
the exact opposite of that
really?
because even when I shop petite, they're still a little long. So I'm like, whose petite are you measuring? Because I still have to shop for petite capris in order for it to fit as pants on
Oh,
me.
Okay.
So that's my
I
struggle.
also think very skinny when I
Okay,
hear
that's really
petite.
good. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good one. What about
Mhm.
like the style of clothing? What do you think about?
not very many options.
No. They're like little kids though. It's like I
Okay.
feel like I have to settle for
What's
just
available.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like I have short women. My mom is probably shorter than you, Bianca.
Yeah, we got one shorter than you, B.
Yeah,
I knew
I
it was
want to
gonna
say
happen.
she is. My sister definitely is. So when I thought of petite, like basically you guys, everything that you said is like fair, but it's like there was nothing really inspiring or like good about it. It was kind of like it's still too long, it's still too short. It's kind of like I always thought of going to the department store also with my
Mhm.
parents when I was young, and like my grandmother shopped with the petite. Like it's
Right.
very basic, right? And
Yes.
so for me, when I thought about petite, that's what I thought about. And I'm like, well, it's just not even a cool space that I like to shop as a petite woman.
Mhm.
And then as I muddled on it more, I'm like, well, isn't that the reason like why you should do it?
Right.
Because when you think of petite, you don't think of, oh, like that's a category that I'm gonna go and find a cute outfit to wear to dinner. Like you
Right.
don't. You don't even think about it at all because most short women are so used to shopping standard sizes that
Mhm.
most short women are like, yeah, I don't shop the petite section. I don't even know that my stores near me have a petite section. It's just kind of this forgotten category.
That's what my
Now,
grandma used to get her moo-moos. No, just
see, no, I was gonna say probably.
kidding.
Um, and as I say that, and that is what like kind of got me excited about doing it, but it's also like a really tough hill to climb
Yeah.
because you're trying to change people's perception of something that is like so deeply rooted as like an afterthought both within the industry and like consumers. But
Yeah.
so to answer your question, that's how I got there is like it just came to my mind one day because I'm short. I'm always going to the tailor and I was annoyed by it. And I'm like, well, why don't you start a petite brand? And then in my mind, I'm like, hell no, that doesn't sound like a
That
cool thing
doesn't
to
sound
do.
cute.
um And I did. I prayed on that a lot. And I went for a walk and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk. And I prayed before. And I'm like, all right, whatever comes to my mind, I'm just gonna honor that. And that came to my mind. And I immediately was like, no. And then I was like, oh, but you said you were gonna consider it. So when
Yeah.
I got home, I started researching and I learned most women in the average woman in the US is 5'4" or shorter,
Mm,
Yes.
and
I love
it
it.
skews even shorter for women of color.
Yeah.
So that means there's a lot of women that are not being serviced, and a lot of people think petite means skinny. So it's just a lot
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
re-education to do.
Yes.
Now, can I ask, do you have any background? Because you're saying that you had a corporate job to fashion line. Do you have any experience or background that kind of said the fashion industry is where
Like
my
what I want
career
to
is?
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to FITM, which is in LA, Fashion Institute of Design.
Okay.
And then I did a summer intensive in Parsons in New York. So like, and I did that at different stages. So like, um, of my career. So there was always kind of like peeking in and peeking
Mm.
out, and um,
It was in there.
it was in there. I didn't go for fashion design. I didn't want to like care. I didn't want to like sew and do all of that. But I definitely so I went for merchandise marketing and management, which is kind of funny because different industry, but not far away from what I ended up doing in terms of like day-to-day stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but I've just always had an interest in it.
Nice.
Hmm.
So the brand's name, East on Rodeo,
Yeah.
where did that come from?
Okay, so if I don't know if anyone is from LA, that's listening, but growing up in LA, I had a lot of like family, and we used to go to church. We used to have I had my favorite aunt that used to babysit me while my parents were at work lived in this part of town, and so we were always kind of in that area.
Mm,
Most people know Rodeo Drive, but
right.
if you grew up in LA, you know that there used to be a Rodeo Road. And so when we would be going to my family's house, we'd always go down this like through Baldwin Hills, La Cienega Boulevard, which is a major kind of thoroughfare in Los Angeles. And you go through the hills, and for a moment it feels like you're like taken out of the city because there's this really pretty park and it's a lot of trees. And I just remember being a kid and always like daydreaming, and when you look out you see the Hollywood Hills like from
Mm,
that part because you're up on the hill. So like LA, just in that moment I always remember feeling like just good feelings of that drive. But as soon as you come down the hill, you're at La Cienega and you hit what used to be Rodeo Road, and we always used to make a right hand turn. Okay, so crazy story about this. We always used to make a right hand turn. So as I was like during COVID, like, what do I name this? What do I name this? I did a mood board in Pinterest,
uh-huh.
and I was like very satisfied with this mood board. Okay. I was looking at it. I'm like, yes, it's exactly like the vibe and the look and the feel of the brand that I want. And I'm like, I don't know what to name it. I am not kidding. This is going to sound very woo woo. Okay. But my fingers just typed. I unconsciously typed East on Rodeo. And I thought it sounded cool. Like, I'm like, I like how East on Rodeo sounds. But as I typed it, I pictured that drive down La Cienega
Mm.
Boulevard. So I knew exactly what it was about. But I'm like, I'm not, are we allowed to cuss? I
Yes.
was like, okay. I was like, shit, I don't know if that right hand turn is east, left. Like, I cannot stand when series
I
like
don't know if it's
go west
Weast or
on this
not.
and that. I'm like, girl, don't tell me to go west on nothing. Tell me right, left, straight
Yes.
ahead, turn around.
Amen.
I was so confused. So I had to like find the coordinate. Like, I literally had to go on, and I'm like, if that right hand turn makes you go east, like that's the name. Long story short, I did the coordinates. I like, okay,
Yay.
what? And sure enough, a right hand turn takes you east. And I was like, okay, that's the name. And I wanted it to be that right hand turn because to me it was like a coming home. It was like
Mm,
that's the turn that took you to all the places that I was so used to going. And then there's the duality in the name because it's not Rodeo Drive. It's not like the shiny, perfectly manicured part of town. And it's this idea of paying homage to um, okay, maybe it's a little rougher, but there's so much beauty in it too, and
Yes.
so much comes out of those parts of LA, and it's
Mhm.
real and it's good and it's home. And so
Yes.
I thought, and the name of the street now is called Obama Boulevard, so it's not even called Rodeo Road anymore. So it's just a way to kind of memorialize
That's
that
awesome.
street. Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to you, the first time I saw it, I thought East on Rodeo.
That's
I
what I thought
know,
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
and I like that.
I
Hmm.
watched your founder talks that you have on your social media
Oh,
for the page, and I was like,
Yeah.
"She said East on Rodeo." Like, it's not Rodeo, Teresa, like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
but I love that story behind that. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Sorry.
I love that people say rodeo because it's like an instant
Mhm.
conversation
and
starter.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For
Amazing.
sure.
I'm like totally blown away.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
What would you say was one of the biggest hurdles that you had to overcome when you were launching the brand?
Mm.
I don't know. Well, I kind of mentioned it, which is just I'm coming into an industry that really has been forgotten about, I
Mm.
mean, I would say even for plus size, there's so much work to do. I think it's cool to say we care about inclusivity, just like we care about the environment, and like just like brands do greenwashing. I mean, the same happens for size inclusivity, and capitalism, like it has to be making money for it to make sense. And
Yeah.
so it takes the hurdle is just the awareness of, first off, just women, like, hey, you can buy clothes that fit you so much better. Like when we're doing pop-up shops and I'm out in the world and I stop women and I'm like, oh, this is a petite brand, like the look on their face is like, wait, hold
What?
on, I'm sure. Yeah, or because we're so used to not having things made for us. And the same
Mhm.
goes for plus, or and even tall. Like I have a friend that is has a shoe line for women with larger feet. Like all of that, like there's just such a huge market for extended sizing altogether.
Sure said I need
And she's
that.
like, I could do that.
Oh, man.
So like breaking those habits
Yeah.
is tough. I mean, both in the industry with retailers and with the customer.
Yeah, definitely.
So who or what inspires the clothes designs that you come up with?
I have a couple. So first is it is LA. I think the way that you dress for this type of weather, which everyone's like, it's just sunny all the time. What you talking about? But there is like has its own unique climate. But I think the mood of LA just kind of effortless,
Mm.
you know, chill, laid back. I think there's an
Mhm.
element of that to what I try to infuse in the design. And the way that I do this, I try to make things, and I dress this way myself. I like to be stylish, but I want there to be ease and comfort. I don't want to feel too constricted. And if I am constricted, I still want to feel like I can move and it's just easy to throw on with other things in my closet. So that versatility is important. And I think living in LA, so like where it could be 80 degrees during the day, but at night, because we're so like close to it gets chilly. Like you need a
Yeah.
little
God, I miss
we have
that
a
weather. No, just
yeah,
kidding.
it's nice, right?
It's
It's
nice.
nice. But you need a little windbreaker, which is why we have a windbreaker in and our my windbreaker sells the best in LA, and it's our number one seller, and it sells the best in LA in person because I feel like people can easily imagine like, oh, this is just easy to throw on at night
Yeah.
really quick from dinner. So I think about so I'm very much inspired by like just the mood and the vibe and the weather here, but then um I think all kinds of things around me. I like to play with masculine and feminine dynamics. So,
Mm.
like, if I'm going to wear a really girly top or something that feels more feminine, like, I don't mind being short and wearing oversized styles,
Mhm.
or having something that feels a little bit more streetwear leaning. And so I try to play, just like there's duality in the name, there's duality. I
Mhm.
try to achieve that in what I design and how that comes across. So
No.
like we have a trouser that's like you can wear it to work, but it has that little elastic waistband that's like reminiscent of like some boxers or
Love
That is
that.
like
my
that kind of
favorite
thing.
piece that
I
you have.
love that.
Ooh, that
That
is
is
just
my
easy to wear.
favorite
Yeah.
piece because it brings me back to like, I grew up in a lot of the hip hop culture. And so like, that's what it reminds me of. It's
Yeah.
like the pants sag era without the
Aaliyah,
pants
like with
sagging.
I
the
was gonna
Yeah.
say it
yeah,
was very Aaliyah when I seen it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's exactly where it took me. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, she was on my mood board for that. So that little thing, because when I worked corporate, like that's how I like to dress. Like I like to dress in a way where I still felt like I was being authentic to who I was. To your point, Teresa, like I grew up like that. I like that. I want to wear my big hoop earrings. I want to
Yes.
wear like my big curly hair, and I'm still going to be professional. But like these little nods to who I am and what I'm
Mhm.
inspired by, like I think that women should bring that to the office, and we should design in a way that doesn't feel like you got to dress like I don't know, like Auntie Anne at the office, and then you can like, like you can do it
Yes.
all, you know?
Yes. I
Yeah.
love that. So
Are there
now,
any design? Oh,
no,
sorry.
go ahead,
Are there
Chuck.
any designers that like inspire you or like you look up to?
That I like. Um, so Tom Ford has always been one. He doesn't necessarily like, I don't look at him and say, oh, I want to design similar to him, but I love what he did for Gucci in the 90s and this idea of how his customer like completely revolutionized Gucci all
Mhm.
together. And I just think he has great taste. And so before Jay-Z came out with that song, like I was so annoyed when Jay-Z came out with that song Time Forward because I was like,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, it's a good song though.
It's
That's
a
why.
great song. I'm like, but now, but before that, and I just loved his story. I loved how he approached design. I also really love Jerry Lorenzo
Mhm.
with Fear of God.
Mm.
And not necessarily like I don't mind the sweats and everything, but he's from LA. We have a very similar point of view in terms of like being inspired by the city, but I also just really love that he does this thing where he's like, I am not run by the seasons. So, traditionally you put out a certain number of collections every year. And he's like, I put out when I'm
What I want.
inspired and
Yeah.
when I want. And um, yeah, and everything is super like wearable and comfortable but just beautifully constructed. So I like his stuff too.
I like that. I really do
Mhm.
like
Oh, I
that.
have a question.
Yeah.
What
She raised
celebrity
her
would
hand.
you
It's
like to pick me next. What celebrity would you want to see wearing your brand?
Oh, that's a
Oh,
good one.
you know what's so funny? I really love recently I was like, I would love to see Karuchi. And I know that's like
Mm.
probably, but is she's short. She's from LA. I think she just embodies the brand really well. And I love what she's done with her career. Like I think she's turned lemons into lemonade, and I like that.
We're gonna make this a clip and tag the shit out of Karuchi. I was gonna
I know
say.
I have like this like habit of if I see a celebrity or an actor, singer, someone, I'm like, I wonder how tall that's always one of my first
What
thoughts
you're
is
what
how
it
tall are they?
is. And
Yeah.
I check because you'd be surprised, like people are shorter than you
Google it
think
all the
they
time.
are.
I
Yeah.
do it all the time. I was like, I need
Yeah.
because celebrities have again, like me, I have a 6 foot tall WebEx personality, so
Yeah.
I appear tall. So in the movies and songs, like they just have those big, tall personalities. So I was like,
Yes.
I need to feel like grounded. I need to like see where I am in comparison to them height wise.
Yeah.
Like my wife, Sabrina Carpenter.
I was
Hello.
gonna say Sabrina Carpenter's one that I think I don't know if we're aligned style wise, but I just love that her album was short and sweet and like she really plays up the fact that she's short. I'm
Yeah.
like,
She plays that like into that factor. Like it's a fun thing to embrace. It's
yeah.
just I like your tagline in some of your posts. I've seen it a few times that life is short. And I
Yeah.
thought that
Mhm.
was like that's been my favorite thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
this is good.
We are
I like
not
this.
short, we are fun size.
I
And
feel
there you go.
seen.
We are
I
fun
feel
size.
seen.
There you go. There you go.
Now,
Yeah.
running a business can be very, very time consuming, right? You have to
Mm,
really devote. It's not like a regular 9 to 5, right? It's a
mhm.
24/7. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have time for yourself, a personal life? Is there a special someone in your life? Like anything like that? I'm about to get nosy, Jess.
I'm like, I told you about my parents. Of course, there's special people in my life. No. Okay, so yes, you're thinking about your business all the time,
Yeah.
but um I do make time, and I will this can sound maybe a little corny, but sometimes, not all the time, because there's times where you're just like, God, I don't want to do this today. But
Yeah.
I was just telling a friend the other day, I'm like, it was a Saturday, and I'm like, I'm gonna work on a couple things for the business. And I was like, and I know, like, I probably should take I break. I said, but I'm excited to do this. And I think
Mm,
there is a lot of that. Like, I'm excited to figure this out. I was working on email funnels all last week, and it was time consuming, like
Yeah.
busy work. But I was like, oh, I know what I like, like the joy
Yeah.
you get out of finally like figuring something out or that. So I would say there is time and you have to make the time. And I think the journey of like I've been doing this now for 3 years,
mhm,
I say to myself, um, it's yes, it's about the business, but it's also about the person that is being built along the way. And you realize like you're not really good if you are not taking time to rest or to disconnect or to work somewhere other than like in this four walls that I'm in. My
Right.
best friend makes fun of me because my new favorite place is the library. It's by the beach, it's pretty. I
It's
feel like I
pretty.
have an office with head to toe glass windows, and
Right.
I get to go and do that. I mean, those little small things make a big difference. And then special someone. You know what?
I was about
I
to say,
do.
is she gonna avoid that question? No, just kidding.
Yes, I
Yes.
mean,
No, no, no.
She's like,
I'm gonna avoid it,
next
but
slide.
I have people, male and female, in my life that like I'm really thankful to be doing this journey with, and
Mhm.
that I really love, and that um yes, are
Ooh,
special.
I think I got her with that one, guys. Hold on.
That I really love and that are special. But yeah, no, God blesses you with the right people.
Yes.
Mhm.
Love that.
I wanna say congratulations. I saw that you guys got East on Rodeo, see, like, I almost said it wrong again, on Macy's.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So this was an accelerator that I was a part of. So I applied to this accelerator last year and forgot.
Wow.
And then at the beginning of this year, it was like, oh, you got your final interview. And I'm like, holy crap. Oh, yeah. It's a very cool program it's with Macy's and Bloomingdale's. It's all the same umbrella company. And it's a 4-week program that you are literally at your computer in workshops and classes with other entrepreneurs and people in the industry from 7 in the morning until 3 o'clock. It's like an all day curriculum, 3 days a week for 4 weeks. And then the last week you're in New York. And you do a pitch of your business, and there's multiple
Nice.
rounds and all that good stuff. So for the time that you are in this program, you can have your stuff sold on Macy's. So that was like a really great experience. I think it just ended June 30th, but it was good. It was nice to kind of just have that under our belt. And I think they said there's like over 1,000 applications, but they only accept like 20, 25 people in the program. So I
Wow.
felt really honored to just have East on Rodeo be represented and get to connect with other people that are doing the same thing.
Yes.
Mhm.
You.me.jolene said, "Congratulations."
Hey,
No,
thank you.
that's huge though, to be selected from that much of a pool of people is huge. I will say I'm probably one of your biggest cheerleaders over here on the under. because I'll see stuff like going through TikTok or Instagram, and I'll see you
Yeah.
post. Like when I saw you post the Macy's thing. I was like, okay, Jess, like out loud. Like my kids are like, what the hell's wrong with you, mom? But
Oh, I appreciate that. It's
yeah,
been very sweet to see people from our old life just like reach out or get a text and like, oh, I saw this. I'm like, what'd you see? Where'd you see? What'd you see? It's very, very sweet. Yeah.
yes,
I
yes.
think like the speed of your success is also inspiring too, because like you mentioned it, you just was it 3 years in June that you started this line, and 3 years, and you have the chance to get on that Macy's platform to enhance that and grow your brand even more. So what is the plan for the next 3 years, or just the future in general of East on Rodeo?
Oh my God. Listen, y'all tell me to keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. Thank you for saying, like, seeing the success of the brand. Like, one of the things that is so tough is you never feel like like, not that it's enough, but you're like, gosh, is this gonna work? Is this it? And so I will say, like, for anyone that is wanting to do something, like how it looks on the outside is so different than how it feels on the inside. And you constantly have to be reassessing how do you define
Mm.
success, and so it's really sweet of you to say, because sometimes you diminish the work you have done, and it's important to be able to say that, to say like, no, you've done some good things. And my goals moving forward is, I learned a really good lesson recently about validation, and it really kind of changed, I wouldn't say my goals, but allowed me to pivot in a direction harder than I had been previously. So what I mean by that is, we were really like driving a lot of wholesale, like going and wanting to get on Macy's or going and trying to get with other retailers. And that's something that I'm still doing and still pursuing. But and Teresa, you're not like, you're gonna be like, duh, Jessica, I worked in customer experience for a really long time. And I was telling a friend, it's just within the last month that I'm like, oh, bring your customer experience to this. Like,
Yes. Duh,
duh,
Jessica. No, just kidding.
duh, no, for real. For real. And I thought I was already doing it. I had missed a step. But my point is, sometimes you're like, I think to a certain extent, seeking validation. Like, if I get into this retailer, if I get into this, like, then that means something. And it does,
Mm,
like, it does to some degree. But what I've learned in the last month, and to answer your question about the direction, is, how do I deepen my relationship with customers? How do I find my customer, and how do I talk to her, and how do I assess like what her need is? So like recently I launched a short girl survey, and it's been so wild to see, like, when you're scrolling, you're just dream scrolling, like, for people to stop and click a link and to say, oh, I'm going to go fill out a survey and I'm going to answer 10 questions. Like, I know all about customer friction, and the more
yeah.
steps between like the customer and whatever the end action is, like, the higher the chances are that they're falling off somewhere in the process. We've had so many women fill out that survey, and
That's
like,
awesome.
pants too long, this is like,
Yeah.
telling me all of the things that they are so dissatisfied with when it comes to petite shopping. It is like sparked that thing of like, okay, sorry, like, fuck the stores. Like, okay, this
Yeah.
is what you want. This is what the customer is saying. How do you connect with that customer? And then how do you close the loop and say, like, this is what you said the problem is. We're going to offer you a solution. So to answer your question, my goal for the future is to like figure out how to do more of that, and then deliver on the promise and learn along the way
Yeah.
of how do we refine our designs and really make it something that is not just like cute, but it's functional, and
Yes.
serves and solves the problems that the customer is saying that they have. And then go to retailers armed with that as the
Right.
expert. Like, I
Yeah.
have the customer, you need this customer, not the
Mhm.
other way around. So that's
Yes.
that's my goal.
They need you.
Say it again.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes you'd be like, you feel like you're shouting into a void, like, hello,
You're
there's
like,
short women in the
have
world.
you seen the
Yeah.
petite shit that you're selling? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes,
Honestly,
yes.
yes. And I think what I respect a lot about your brand is the authenticity that you have because you are experiencing this yourself. And not only are you taking it from your personal experience, but you're giving the consumers a chance to voice their opinions and be heard. So in a way, you're advocating for us as
Yeah.
females.
Yeah, yeah.
So really respect that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Real
What are
quick,
your thoughts on?
oh, sorry. There's a
Oh,
comment real quick in our YouTube from MJB regarding celebrities wearing East on Rodeo. I think Janelle Monáe or Janae Aiko would look really good in Jessica's
Mm,
pieces.
I love
Agree.
that. These are
I love
great
We're going to
suggestions.
tag them too.
Okay.
Go ahead, Shari.
what do you think? Like, what is your thought process on like maybe opening a boutique instead of being in stores? Because I mean, I just know
Yeah,
like with the way the world is now, like people shop online, people
Mm,
shop in small boutiques versus a department store because they don't
yeah.
have anything,
for
and people have come to
sure.
realize that. So, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that just to make sure I understand, like opening my own boutique or being
Yes.
in smaller
No.
boutiques. Yeah,
Opening your
so retail was a big part of my old job, and I know how expensive it is to run a retail
Mm,
store.
mhm.
So I would say I think that it's something that I would want to do, but I think that to your point, department stores is probably going to be less of the priority and getting into smaller boutiques and getting the customer to know because right now it's all about awareness and for
Yeah.
own.
people to say like, oh, I'm willing to go to a destination just to shop east on rodeo. We have some work to do there, and I think by positioning ourselves in boutiques where customers already love to shop and them seeing us along other brands that they currently shop allows them to be like, oh, okay, like I know this brand, I know this
Start
brand. Oh, and
recognizing
East
the
on,
name.
yeah,
Yeah.
like East
Yeah,
on
getting familiar
Rodeo.
with it. Yeah.
So I think that's something that I would love to do, but it would be a little further down.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Like people are not shopping department stores, but it's interesting in
Yeah.
talking to the customer. There are a certain there's one or two that she seems to be shopping at, but most of it is like Reformation is one, and Reformation carries petite. And there's a couple other ones that I'm like, but they're getting those things tailored, and they are
Mm,
specialty stores, which kind of also reinforces what I know, which is this customer is a stylish customer that likes to shop
Mm.
at specialty stores,
yeah.
but there's just not one that exists for her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we are at the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But before
Hey.
we leave, is there any advice that you would give to someone out there who is thinking about starting their own fashion line or their own business?
Yeah.
Yeah, any words of wisdom?
I really think you must take some time to connect with like that inner voice and ask yourself like why do I want to do this? Don't do it because you're sick of your job. I mean, I know we hear that those
Mhm.
things like I was sick
Mm.
of my job, I just quit, or I don't recommend that. That's just not my recommendation. I know it works for some people and it makes for a great story, but I recommend really connecting with yourself and saying, like, on the days where I don't want to do this. Now, think of your worst day at the job that you currently have. Think of that. Now, on those worst days when there's no one holding you accountable, like, what is the thing that's going to make this worth doing for you?
Mm,
And really get real with yourself. And I think if you can come out of that and not feel pressure to say, I have to make this happen tomorrow, but open yourself up to saying, I set the intention. I'm going to take the steps that I need to take to get there and trust that I will get there, then that's what I would recommend. I think going into big life changes like that gently and soberly, um, with a little bit of a plan is
mhm.
important,
Mm.
but do it. Like, do it. Because I think ultimately for me, it was when I'm like 70, 80 on my deathbed, would I rather have like would I rather be disappointed that I tried and it didn't work out, which I don't think that I would be disappointed. I think I'd be proud of myself.
Yeah.
Or would I rather be like, dang, what would have happened?
What
Because
if?
in that case, you're always going to say, man, I would have did it too. Like I would have been successful, like you're always going to romanticize the best case scenario and you're going to
Mhm.
really regret never trying. So do it, but I would do it in a really thoughtful and sober way.
That's great advice
Mhm.
because most people just tell you to jump off the cliff. So,
Yeah,
I
and that's just
appreciate the realism
not in
there.
this economy.
No,
Don't do
thank
that.
you. Not in this economy. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much for taking time out to come
sure.
on the show and tell us all about your story. I think it's very motivational to a lot of people out there that want to do something either similar or just something creative in some kind of way. So we
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, ladies, any closing remarks for Jessica?
Totally inspiring. I needed this today. Like,
Oh,
Thanks. I'm
yes.
glad.
God put you
I'm
where you're
glad.
supposed to be, and I totally needed this today. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
B.
All respect to here. I'm going shopping. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going
She
shopping
was talking
because
about how she likes to spend money. So that's
Right. Yes, I
New
know.
hobby, new
Okay.
purchase hobby.
that's it. I'm
Yes, yes,
sold.
Your
yes.
plants need clothes.
your
Right,
plans need
Exactly.
right,
clothes, yeah.
Exactly.
right.
Alexa girl in our Instagram said she's literally the best. So
Oh, thank you.
let people know how they can find you, find the brand, buy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you can find us at eastonrodeo.com. East on Rodeo is all of our social handles, so Instagram, TikTok. You can also fill out our short girl survey if you are up for that. It's really quick. You get a little gift in your email as a thank you, and hopefully you'll stick around and follow us for our journey because we're working on some really good stuff as well.
Yeah. So that again, you guys, was Jessica White, founder of East on Rodeo. Thank you again, Jess. For those of you
Thanks.
guys who don't follow us or are living under a rock and don't know where to find us, B, let them know how they can find us.
If y'all are not already, then y'all can follow, like, and subscribe to us on our social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at It's No Secret Podcast, as well as our TikTok. That's at It's No Secret Podcast Live. And if you can't join us for our Wednesday live stream, then you can definitely listen to us on Sundays on Apple and Spotify.
Yes. So you're everywhere now, Jess. Oh,
Thank
And
you
until next
guys.
time, remember, it's no secret and go shop. Right now.
yes.
Go do it. Go shop.
Bye.
Bye.